Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Videos, Airy Sky Release video blog. I'm Airy Sky, also known as Living Simply Fun San Juan Island Prepper. Now, today we're going to be talking a little bit about today. Today is Election Day. That's right. So, two things I'd recommend you doing. One, going to your local Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, and stocking up for prepping gear just in case you have doubts about um, the election and you think it's stolen, which more likely it won't be stolen. Now, I had an argument last night with moderator Higgins, and he thinks I'm not open minded. Now, let me put it to you this way: there's a problem with a lot of things in open mindedness. One is we've dealt with 10 years of Donald Trump, okay? And frankly, let me tell you why people sit there and they send me messages saying, "What's your beef with Donald Trump?" Simple. I don't want to see his name in the newspapers for the next 10 years. I would like to see his name gone. And not talking about anything but he's been 34 times convicted. Oh, well, that was all a hoax by the Higgins, okay? And then you hear him saying he can grab a woman by the hoo ha, right? Uh, and yada, yada, yada. And he's a womanizing sexual uh, pervert, right? A horn dog. Now, for some of you out there, I have a message for you all this morning on Election Day. All right. It is almost 1 p.m. Or sorry, 1. It's almost 12:30, I should say, Pacific time. Let me look here. Yeah, it's almost 12:30. Anyways, and so I want to share with you um, a little bit of advice for Election Day. That is, if you all sit there, right, and you want to live in fear, and you want to live in fear against Donald Trump, then vote for Kamala Harris. Simple. Now, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, then vote for Donald Trump. But here's where everything is going down the toilet. You got all these people. I watch a lot of different shows, and they're all talking about the Donnie, talking about being a dictator. Yeah. And there's a lot of women out there that are pissed off. Now, there's two sides of it. Men want women to be subservient robots. They want women in the kitchen and women in the bedroom. Yeah. And women popping out kids for them. This isn't a Catholic or Mormon family anymore. They're just, horn dogs, okay? They think women are second class citizens, which they are. And you could sit there and say, oh, well, they're not white, so, or other issues. The point is Americans are ready to turn the page, whether it goes to Donald Trump or goes to Kamala Harris. Now, you know, moderator Higgins, he said, oh, well, how come you're so angry about the Trump rhetoric? Because I don't want to see anything, okay? When I'm watching a show, okay, for this video or making video content for um content, I don't want to hear or see Donald Trump's face. I've seen it so much in the fast forward. And then sometimes I go, oh, I missed that part. And I go back and listen to the little sections, where he actually says things like, this or that. And then you have Elon Musk coming out and saying, oh, we're going to have a problem where, you guys are going to suffer. There's not going to be Social Security. There's not going to be, telling the elderly that they have to literally vote um, for him so he can take away his benefits. Well, you know how many voter blocks are out there? Let me just say, they said 80 million voters have already voted early. Okay. Now, we don't know if that 80 million votes is Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, or mixed. Okay. And then you have the people that are voting today. Okay. And here's where I say it. Okay. Vote with your heart. That's all I can tell you. But think about it from Donald Trump's point of view. He wants the illegals, right? So he's going to deport all the illegals, 11 to 25 million illegals. That's great. We're just going to deport them. Then we're going to put Higgins to work in the standing up the rest of his life, picking, I'm just going to say it, cotton or apples or oranges or whatever. He's just going to, right? So, for example, you got to ask yourself, are you disabled? Are you elderly? Did you pay any of your taxes? Now, they literally, all the media is saying that this is the cleanest campaign they have ever did with a Democrat. Maybe, but what happened to the supposedly 17 million voters, supposedly, or 7 million voters who, threw Donald Trump, or sorry, not Donald, Joe Biden under the bus and then chose Kamala. I mean, look. Today's the day that we're going to know who's going to be president. And so, for me to tell you, if you want Kamala Harris, here's what you need to do. You can't basically be complacent. You need to get out there. You need to vote for her. Yeah, because right now, here's how I see it. There's a lot of pissed off women out there, and the women are going in droves, families and friends, and they're like, look, their families and friends, they're like, here's the deal. It goes like this. A, you're not taking away our rights as a woman. I'm not saying, but we want to control our own body. We're not going to have Uncle Sam telling us that we can't have an abortion. Okay. Then you have the second part. So you got the elderly sitting there, right? They're like, we're voting blue up and down the ticket because we can't have these MAGA asses telling us what we can't and can't do, and then having Elon say, oh, well, we're going to have a severe hardship. But don't worry, I'm not going to have a hardship. I'm going to eat my steak while you all eat dirt because I'm Elon. And look what happens. Okay, so he turns around and he says hardships. Elderly, 70 million elderly voting block, minus Higgins, of course. Higgins doesn't consider himself elderly. Higgins considers himself a Trumper. Yeah, go figure, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens? Old lady Rita here says, go out and vote the way you want to vote. Literally, okay? Now, we're going to know in the blue wall states what's going to happen to Wisconsin and Michigan today. What if Michigan, that's where I believe where Higgins is, flips Democratic? What if he turns around and he says, oh, my vote didn't count because, well, it went for Kamala. Well, good for you, Higgins. Now, what if Wisconsin goes blue? Wow. Mm-hmm. What if, look, I've seen the numbers coming out from family and friends from Florida, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. Thanks to, I just want to thank Chloe's mom and grandfather for some notes. The numbers in Louisiana basically is looking really good. It looks like Big Johnson. I can't stop smiling when I call him that. Big Johnson. Speaker Big Johnson may basically lose a seat today. Bobart may lose her seat today. MTG may lose her seat today. Higgins may lose his benefits today. Oh, sorry, I had to throw that in there. Sorry, Higgins. The point is Americans need to realize that, then they say, the Carolinas, you may carry the Carolinas too. Some people are talking right now how the numbers may be a big number of people. So it goes like this, okay? So you got the Republicans. They're sitting there. They're like, oh, we got this in the bag. We got Donald Trump. We're going to suppress the women. Women are turning around saying, you try suppressing us, we ain't going to give you sex. We won't even be in the same household as you. We may even divorce your butt. Right. So, what happens? Well, in the end, it goes like, who's going to win, who's going to lose? Think about it. I mean, you got people saying the economy is crappy. Yeah, no, the economy isn't shitty. Okay, let me tell you, the economy is great. I mean, think about it. Okay, the economy is thriving. You got these little weenie heads like the Higgins and these freaking Republican numb butts who turn around and they're complaining, oh, I had to spend $300 for groceries at the grocery store. Oh, well, I don't care because you can get better deals if you go to Costco. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Oh, well, I can't do that because I can't buy in the bulk. Really, let me put it this way, okay? I had a chat with a friend yesterday, about bulk buying. They'd rather buy 4 pounds of bacon for $14 for 4 pounds at Costco compared to 3/4 of a pound for $14. You do the math. 3/4 of a pound or 4 pounds. Costco's the way to do it. I mean, literally, think about it. People can basically buy bulk twice a month. They're doing better, even with the ferry ticket, than spending more money on that. But people are saying, oh, the economy's crappy. Yeah, that's because you want to live on a problem. I mean, look, our problem is I live on an island, so price goes, but there is ways around it. So to me, it is what it is, and so when it comes to voting, you need to vote with your heart. I mean, if you're voting because you want to be a racist, bigoted piece of crap because you want to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, Donald understands us. We got to get rid of the illegals. Really? Why don't we just go deport all the MAGAs all the way to Russia? Maybe they'd be happier there. Higgins, will you be happy in Russia? Think about it, preppers. I mean, today is the time that you put your vote into vote. Okay, here's what I would do. I'd go to the voting box. My father-in-law said this too. Go to the voters box. Where the line. Get in line, vote. Get done voting. And go to Costco. Go to Sam's Club. Go to prepping supplies. Start stockpiling. Because between tomorrow and the day they call the presidency, I mean, there's people around the country sitting there, African Americans. They're like, we would never vote for a fool, Donald Trump, who literally goes and insults the blacks, saying he wants to put them in chains. Wow, supposedly. Then you got these other women, Hispanic, Latinos, Puerto Ricans. They're like, we flew all the way home, not talking about going to Puerto Rico, and we voted. Yeah, think about it. Calling Puerto Ricans garbage, calling 2/3 of the Americans garbage, calling the Democrats, any Democrats, garbage. That's just fueling a big, big wave of whatever. And then you guys say, oh, well, it was a joke. Really? So would it be a joke if I turned around and said, let's just say I'm running for president and I call the Republicans all crap heads, or the Republicans all pieces of crap, and Republicans are all racist, sexist, rapists? I mean, do I have any justification? No. So, thing is there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people. Look at Nikki Haley. She said many times, if you're going to vote, most likely, how she put it was, first person who retires their 80-year-old octogenarian is going to win. Wow. Donald Trump is still sitting here, And a lot of people are getting turned off by turning on. I mean, look, he literally said, we had a big, big crowd. And the cameraman, he just went, just to be rogue. I mean, I've seen it. So you can't tell me there's a big crowd. I mean, think about it, preppers. I mean, literally. So, what I want you guys to do tonight is this. My radio's charged. So, anyways, what I want you guys to do tonight is this. I want you to get some sleep, okay? Don't dwell on it. I mean, look. First ballots are probably going to be coming in about 5 hours, give or take, right? So about 5 hours in Eastern Standard Time. So here it is 12:32, so it's 3:32 Eastern. So ballots start, I think, at 7. So think about it, 7 in the morning, preppers. That's going to be a long day. So get some sleep. And even if the first ballots are cast, we won't know till the ballots close in many places at 7:30. So that's 12 hours of voting. So don't get complacent. Get out there and vote. Now, if you want Donald Trump, go for it. But just be warned, you got a lot of pissed off women who already voted. More women getting in line to vote. You got freaking more votes. Uh, Elderly voters, transgendered vote, or let's just put it this way, so I'll get it all done. Elderly voters, disabled voters, worried about you taking away their Social Security because you're voting for, you're voting for the Don who wants to. Elon said he's going to strip everyone. Grandpa's got to go back to work. Oh, it'd be really funny. I mean, if I have to go back to work because of my health issues, Higgins going to be in the same damn boat. What's he going to do when he says sitting there? Out my back, out my head, out my feet, out my eyes, out my headache. Sorry to say, what about he says his mom's like 90 years old. Okay, this is Higgins' mom. Yeah. Higgins' mom. Oh, wow. Going back to work at that age. Isn't that interesting? Think about that, people. Think about it. My stepdad, he's already, my father-in-law, he's already working. Okay. Now, then you got 70 million block voters that are pissed off about the benefits being cut. They're going to basically sit there and say, right? Then you got pissed off 18-year-old women saying their body is not theirs. You got pissed off middle-aged women saying their body is not theirs, and yet they're voting for just like for their rights, but they're voting for the elderly women. They're voting for their daughters, granddaughters, great-granddaughters, great-great-granddaughters. So it's a big tree thing, right? It goes top generation all the way down. They're voting for the future of these people. Then you have the American people turning around. What's going on? Then you have, that's 70 million benefit recipients. Then you got these pissed off mothers. Yeah, they're like, my mother had more rights than I do now, and we're going to the poll. Then you got these mothers, these grandmothers, these great-grandmothers, these fathers turning around, right? And they see their kids, their grandkids. And by the way, I don't like talking about this, talking about suicide. Why? Well, they are transgendered people, right? And the transgender community will lose hormones, will lose therapy, will be forced to live as a man and pop out semen for babies. And the trans women or the genetic women who feel and identify as man will have to pop out babies because that's their job. These family members are voting for them, and their family members are voting for them, and other families members. So you got 4 million LGBTQIAs, not to mention gays, who are saying, look, they're going to try to overturn Roe versus Wade. Or, no, sorry, not Roe versus Wade. They're going to overturn same-sex marriages. Then you have them going into the voters with the lesbians. The lesbians are doing the same thing. Then what? Think about it. Then you got another 8, 10, 12, 16, 20 million family members and family members and family members and the LGBTQ. I mean, literally, this could be a basic massive wipeout for the Republicans that they won't see coming possibly, because think about it. I just called out the pissed off great-grandmothers, grandmothers, mothers, daughters, sisters, everyone who supports women. Some men are supporting their wives and girlfriends and daughters and stuff, and they're voting to keep the balance. They may not like it. Maybe some of them are pissed, but you got these women who sit there and say, well, it's our rights. It's not just about Kamala Harris running on the abortion. What if Kamala Harris president? I'm still making the joke that I got two people, okay, on my channel who's moderators, who said if they won, Higgins being one of them, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you're a fibber." Then I'm gonna have to find a punishment. Star Wars. He's going to be punished. The Jar Jar people. He's going to be punished for eating some type of crow. Now, I haven't found out his punishment yet if Kamala wins, okay? Because I already said possibly forecasting. I mean, look, Michael Moore came out and said Donald Trump is going to be toast. He may be right. And then you have Alan Lichtman, professor of this. He's got death threats because he could be right too. He's predicting in the 13 Keys, which, by the way, good book, by the way. And it tells you what's going on. I mean, look, currently you have 70 million elderly. Okay, let's just say 69, or no, actually 75. Let's just say it's 75. So 74 million of them decide they're going to vote for that. Oh, not to mention okay, we have our veterans, okay? Our veterans are pissed, okay? Our veterans here, quote unquote, that Donald Trump thinks of him as suckers and losers. Oh, really? The veterans are like, I fought for my country. I fought for people's civil rights. I fought for them to be who they are. I fought for freedom. And you're calling me a sucker and loser. And then the veterans hear this. Well, we're going to all have to endure a hardships except for me. I am Elon, and I am a billionaire, so I don't care about you pieces of crap. But, you're going to endure hardships. Veterans turned around and said, no, you're not cutting my veterans. You're not cutting you're not cutting the Social Security benefits, the SSI, the SSDI off because of it. I mean, think about it. Now, let me just tell you, okay, so you got the pissed off veterans. You got the pissed off women, all these women supporting, right? Then you got the voters block, the actual voter block of people who literally, the elderly. That leaves, let's just say, maybe 120 to 130 million people, maybe more, voting for Kamala right off the top. I mean, this could be a massive wipe, a massive dump. They're eating the cats and the dogs. And not to mention, a lot of pissed off people, Trumpers, are getting to the point where they're leaving their cult leaders. They're leaving their MAGA party because they're tired of hearing this old guy sounding like a rusty old carburetor about eating the cats and the dogs. And no, honestly, they're also tired of all the crap they're seeing. I mean, literally, he just goes rambling. Think about it. I mean, in the end, we'll see what happens. I mean, I could be wrong, but all my analyzations currently goes like this. Okay, then you have my favorite part of talking about. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, need to check my tablet for a second. I want to check the weather. Higgins is like, why? Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm texting too, by the way. I'm talking to Chloe. For some of you out there, Higgins doesn't care. He only cares about his orange-headed Messiah. That's what a lot of people call him. Jesus would be appalled by Donald Trump. Sorry to say, with everything Donald Trump has done. Yeah, I mean, he is not a Messiah. Donald Trump is not a Messiah. Jesus is, all right? So before we continue, I'm just checking the weather real quick. So I don't want to. There we go. I thought I heard rain on the window. So I will be charging my tablet up tonight again. Yep, says right there, rain. Yep. Oh, yeah, so it's partly cloudy. Actually, I saw the sun out earlier, so apparently we don't get any rain till 6 a.m. Okay, so we got plenty of time. All right, so it's cloudy. Okay. So basically, here's my favorite part of the election. Now, by the way, people ask me all the time, dang it. Even though there's Die Hard, yippee-ki-yay, mofo. All right, hold on a sec. All right, so for some of you out there, I'll be using this today. So for you preppers out there that should join me, get prepping because I can't guarantee the next 76 days from tomorrow, 75 days, what happens for the election. So you guys are tuning in to see election info. So here we go. Punished. Punished. All right. So Chloe's. She's still up? Oh, yes, she is. Yeah. Okay. So basically, you got all these pissed off people. Yeah. All right. And you got all these people that are pissed off, right? Then you got other people around the country, the elderly, the disabled, the mentally ill. Some of them can vote, and they're like, look, he wants to take away our rights. He wants to take away maybe our ability to get help. He wants to take, a lot of people are saying, look, the guy wants to take away our health care. Yeah, I mean, literally, what happens if Elon Musk didn't get in, he cuts Medicare? What happens if Higgins turns around and he's got to sell his house to pay his medical bills because Elon Musk says, you're going to endure hardship and love it? This is the definition of where Biden said at one time, you're going to have nothing, be happy. You're going to have nothing, or you're going to have everything stripped from you because Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So, there's a lot of pissed off people hearing that and saying, we're done. We're out of here. We're hasta luego. We're bye-bye. The point is the American people have to make that decision. And I'm hoping that, with everything going on from, one side, people say, oh, you're one-sided. Well, guess what? I mean, literally, I'm basically saying all the facts. I don't give my facts to, say, the Higgins, for example, because he wouldn't watch it. He wouldn't listen to, he'd be like, oh, they're just making it up, really. So remember, there's a lot of people out there, these former Trumpers, that are saying they're tired of him, people making excuses for him. So then you have my favorite. You have the secret voters. Now, in 2016, you had the secret voters thinking, oh, let's give Donald Trump a chance. A lot of people were secretly voting for Donald Trump in 2016. Then you had the same people voting in 2020 secretly because they couldn't come to go to their Democratic families and say, yes, I made a mistake. I voted for Donald Trump twice, So this time around, you got a lot of Republicans that used to be old GOP or conservative Republicans that are saying, look, until the Republican Party gets back to normal, I have to vote party of idiots out by voting for a Democrat. And a lot of people are putting country over party. And that's another thing. A lot of them are going country over party. And they're like, yes, I voted Democrat. I'm happy to vote Democrat. Then you have the other ones that went out and voted, the ones that are hidden, scared to tell their family members that they voted for Kamala. I mean, look, then you have these guys taking their wives to the polls. And the men, as you know, the voters said, Julie Roberts said, your vote's sacred. Your vote is yours. So get out there and vote. You don't have to tell whoever you voted for. And the women don't need to feel scared because it's their vote. And men shouldn't basically sit there and vote for their wife. I mean, literally. I mean, the thing uh, yeah. So, I mean, these women, they are getting, um, they are pissed, literally pissed, and they're voting in droves. And so when someone says, well, it's just an abortion thing, it's not just abortion that's on the thing. There's a lot of people voting for LGBTQ rights and women's rights and getting rid of Donald Trump by firing him again, saying we don't want him, and saying things like Project 2025. Yeah. So, you hear Higgins, oh, he said he had nothing to do with it. I don't care. You say, go ahead, Higgins. Maybe after the election, you'll get your head out of your butt and basically go ahead and read Project 2025. It'll scare the piss out of you. I downloaded a copy onto my tablet here. What do you think I read at night? I mean, literally, I could tell you that is the people. There's people out there that broke it down piece by piece. Literally, we have to send a strong message to Republicans, billionaires, that we don't want them in our White House. We don't want them screwing with our thing. By the way, here's another fact. The Wall Street Journal came out recently and said what Elon's planning to do is he's going to bankrupt the entire country's banking system by collapsing the entire stock markets when he decides to cut everything off. Literally, that means he says, "Oh, it'll bounce right back." No, it won't. It'll basically bankrupt the entire world. The world economies will go down the toilet. How's that going to? Yeah, I mean, literally, all the analysts, everyone said this. And so you look at what's going on in politics, and you got two sides. You got the Democrats using the biggest hyped fear tactics. Oh, Higgins wants to vote for Trump because he doesn't want an electric car. No one's forcing you to. What if the government, they turn around and say, sorry, Higgins, we're cutting your benefits because you don't need them. You got to go back to work. Are you willing to go back to work on Elon Musk's cronyism? And then you have all the other elderlies that are retired. People that have boats now losing their boats. People that have airplanes losing their airplanes. I mean, I know people on this island that live in mansions that have boats, that have cars, that have yachts. You think they're going to sit there and vote for a guy who wants to take away everything of theirs because they're not a billionaire like them? Yeah, think about it. They went to the poll. They said, no, we're not voting for this. You got people, you got the Avengers, you got Beyonce, you have all these celebrities. One of my favorites was Harrison Ford came out. I like the Super Bowl commercial. Ordering dog food, ordering dog food, ordering dog food. And at the end, I'm not talking to you. Thing is, look at what's going on. You got all these celebrities coming out saying, don't vote for Kamala, save democracy. That a lot of people are seeing this. And yet you have these people thinking that they have enough votes, maybe they do, to suppress the rest of us. But question is, what happened? I don't know. Only time will tell. So today is election day. I, of course, am a little tired. Time to go back to the nappy. I got to be up in 4 or 5 hours to run the election in my office here all day. So I will be doing bits and pieces. A lot of people say campaign starts at 3:30. In our state, it's like 3:30 Pacific. I personally think, don't we have something else? I hear Tubi is giving free election footage coverage, so I'm not sponsored by Tubi, but if you have a Roku, it might be best to check it out. Now, with me, of course, I do have some minor projects I got to do today, off and on, but it's going to be fun. So, because we just got to have either you live in fear, and the women are saying, I ain't living in fear. I'm voting this guy out once and for all, because a lot of Americans also are saying They're tired of, this is the secret voters, are tired of Donald Trump being on the newspapers and media feed so long. They want to get rid of him, sweep him under the carpet, and then let him go and serve his jail time, find a nanny. Because they're tired of a president that's saying, oh, well, he didn't do that. He didn't throw an insurrection. It's all in your head. Guess what? It's all in your head, old man, because frankly, we're not, the American people ain't buying it anymore. They're not buying the old sob story anymore. They're going to the polls today, and I encourage you all to vote with your heart and vote the right way. And I'm not saying the right way is Democratic or Republican. It's vote the way you want it. Vote the way the issues matter is the most important. There's a lot of women out there that think abortions matter. We're going to the poll. Kamala's got a good campaign for that. But she also showed some red meat when it comes to her economic policies. To me, the economy is doing better than it has been in 40 years. But don't take my word for it. Yeah, I mean, literally, in immigration, let me put it this way. The news is hyping, you got all you redneck killjacks saying, oh, look, the redneck killjacks, there's a lot of jobs out there, okay? All the jobs are beneath them. They want the $1 million, $2 million jobs. Even Higgins wants that type of job. But the thing is we turned around and told Higgins his job's going to run around. I think he's in Michigan. That he's going to be a sewer man. He's got to run around in a little tank and instead of walking around the sewer going, then that's his job. You see, it's like Phil, our moderator, basically people say, oh, Phil's a hilljack. No, he isn't. Oh, Phil's a douche nugget. No, he isn't. Oh, look, the bottom line is Phil's doing a job that most people won't do. He's a garbage man, okay? And garbage men are really good. And just remember for you guys today, for the election pun, okay? Today is Friday, okay? Or, sorry, Tuesday. I think we may hear something by Friday, but here's my kicker, okay? You got the Republicans. You got the Trumpers. They're like, Democrats are trash. Okay, cool. Democrats are trash. But the Democrats turn around and say, no, Republicans are trash. Donald Trump is trash. What are they saying today is trash tape. We're taking the trash out. I've seen it all the time. Guess what? You're calling and then Higgins says, oh, it was just a joke, Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans didn't think so. They called it racist rhetoric. So think about it. What is today? It could be by Alan Lichtman or Michael Moore, a blue wave, a blue tsunami possibly. And that happens, well, we'll see. Could be a red wave or a red tsunami. No one knows. We'll find out at the ballot polls. For all we know, it could even itself out too. But right now they're saying you got the elder. I've already said over 120 million voter blocks or more are voting. So what if Kamala Harris gets 120? What if she gets 140 million out of 340 million people? What if she gets 160 million? What if he's basically sitting there and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to win. And then the polls come out and it's 200 million to 30 million. And what are you going to say? 170 million Americans voted against Donald Trump and it's election fraud? Come on, man. We're going to see it soon enough. But still, question is, what do you guys think? So part 2 will be a little later. I just want to get this out of here. I'm going to go take a snooze. So just remember, it's election morning, politics. Oh, and by the way, in this channel, I may leave the live chats open for a little later when I'm doing the long ones. But if I do the long ones, I warn you, I will be getting up from time to time to walk the dog, taking a break. Or I may close the video down and then redo part 3 because tonight is a big night for election night. But it's too early in the morning and I've had something to eat. So I'm like, I'm tired. So just get out there this morning on the East Coast. The East Coasters, when the polls open, get out there and vote. Vote with your heart and vote for the things that matter to you. There's a lot of people that are making it their matters to vote Donald Trump out. A lot of them are just saying, look, I don't like this guy. Yeah. Or I don't like it, stooge, RFK. I mean, look, RFK wants to take away vaccinations. Wow. RFK wants to take away fluoride. Cool. All these people, they're learning about it. They're getting their news sources and they don't like it. So in the end, think of what's going to happen. In the end, we'll see. Maybe it'll be the House and Senate will be blue, which I want to tell you something. A lot of you people out there could have guardrails against Donald Trump. He can't do everything, okay? So let me just tell you how it's going to work. Let's just say scenario one. Scenario one's an unlikely cast, but I'll put it in there anyways. Red tsunami, red wave, everything goes red, right? Won't happen. A lot of Democrats would be pissed. Then you have the second most likely, a blue House, a red Senate, and Kamala Harris presidency, so there's checks and balances. That's cool. Or it's a blue House, red Senate, and a Donald Trump, which then he couldn't do anything anyways because of check balance. But what if it was a blue House and a blue Senate and a Donald Trump presidency? The Democrats would keep him in check. He couldn't do anything because as soon as he tried something like get away his Project 2025, Congress and the House would impeach him, throw him out. And then the next on the line would be Vance. They'd throw him out. Then the next would be, say, Hakeem Jeffries as presidency. It'd just go, and then the Republicans would be, or it would be pissed, and the Democrats would take over, right? So the next logical answer is, like I said, a blue Senate, a red House, and a Kamala Harris win, right? Now, another logical answer is President Harris, a blue House, and a blue Senate. That would mean the Higgins, oh no, they're going to take our guns. Oh, well, we're going to take it. Maybe she'll just take away your AR-15s. Man, wouldn't that be nice? Ban the ARs and ban fully automatic weapons and assault weapons. Yeah. I mean, I hear people all the time talking about buying flamethrowers. They want flamethrowers. They want bazookas. This ain't Surplus City in the movie Commando, where he's got the door and there's a M202, the box, the 4-shot rocket launcher. Come on, dude. I mean, all those weapons were, yeah. So we're not going to talk about weapons. This is a political channel today, so you guys get my point, right? Yeah. So think about it. We won't know the outcome. So what I'm going to request for today's special editions of the long videos I'm going to be making for you guys is show some respect. No negative in the channel or I will ban you myself. I don't want someone coming in here and saying Trump 24, blah, blah, blah. We don't know, okay? I don't need Russian bots on my channel. And my moderators already know that they lose the rent really quickly doing that, okay? I don't want Kamala Harris 2024 either. What I would request for you all is to vote with your heart if you haven't gotten the polls yet. And vote for the issues that matter to you the most. A lot of pissed off women are voting for women's reproductive, which works to a point. A lot of people see the economy doing well, the stock market doing well, the lies. Some of them are voting to get rid of the liar in chief. Think about it. So whatever your reason, vote with your heart. That's all I can say. With that said, everyone, thank you so much for your time, your patience. And let's get out there and vote. Yeah, if you want to vote blue across the board. That's what I've been seeing in my polling numbers on my tablet. A lot of people are secretly voting blue. Yeah, so get out there and vote. Because this may be the only time in history you may be able to vote again. And this is the biggest vote in American history. Think about it. Higgins doesn't think about his benefits being cut or his voting rights being stripped after this. Donald Trump said, after this election, you'll never have to vote again. Think about it. Guy who wants to be dictator. He claims for one day. No, he doesn't. Plan for life. Who becomes dictator for one day? Doesn't happen. Think about it. That said, everyone, thank you again for your time. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Hit the like, subscribe button. It's always fun for your family. If you like this video or you think my content's good, I don't make any money. I'm just here. You can always donate to a gift card if you wish. Costco, Amazon, Target, eBay. My email addresses are San Juan Island Prepper at yahoo.com or San Juan Island Prepper at AOL.com or Yahoo. Thanks everyone again for tuning in. Get out there and vote. Make it count, because this may be the only chance you may get. And I will be talking soon. All right, part 2 will be in a few hours. Thank you. Get some rest, and we'll see you soon in the next video. Peace and love out.